Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Let's Read. Today we are going to be diving back into Order of the Stick by Rich Burlew. As I had mentioned in our previous episode, this episode is going to be a little different, and we are going to be breaking the standard of going into these chronologically because we only have one or two extra episodes to do for this. Order of the Stick is such a big, long comic, and honestly, the chapter, not to knock on Rich, but the next few hundred pages after the dungeon are kind of a slog. It's kind of a test to see and make sure that you are worthy of experiencing the rest of Order of the Stick. However, we do not have such time. So, we are going to be skipping ahead. Far, far ahead. I originally wanted to get us into the start of Azure City. However, that would also require a few extra episodes. Maybe when we revisit Order of the Stick, we'll actually get into it. However, today, my boys, we are going to war. Yay. Please clap.
More war! Oh, yay!
War. Unleash the dogs of war.
So yeah, we've already read Gone with the Blast Wave, which was a depiction of war through the eyes of a bored soldier, which is, in reality, a pretty accurate depiction of war for a lot of people. However, Order of the Stick does something that not a lot of comics have done or can do properly, in which is depicting a wide-scale war and invasion pretty darn epically. And I think it's one of the moments that really helps show what this comic is really capable and what this writing is really capable. So, no bad mouthing. It's time to get into it. To start us off, we have with us our good friend Caleb Black.
Hello, it's me, your favorite guy.
And Danimal, of course.
I've had 6 tangerine White Claws.
Ew, mango's superior. But on the subject of alcoholism, we also have with us our resident Australian, Phalanx.
I don't want to be classed as resident Australian.
That's right, you're our second favorite Australian.
I love how he didn't deny the alcoholism.
Yeah.
Oh, that would just be lying.
Say hello
I've never
again.
lied. Hello. Hello.
And Sasquatch. Come on, say the line.
Oh, sorry. Greetings. How you guys doing?
We also have with us the ever-present Stanton High.
Hi, everybody.
And we also have with us, for the first time, 2 guests. We have with us Ort Cloud Clown.
What's happening? It's Ort Cloud Clown Comic Cowboy.
And the albino rhino himself, Naira.
Hello.
Oh, wow. What a terrible introduction.
Hey. Anyway, let us get started. Things that we've missed for this time lapse. So after escaping the dungeon, the group is hunted down by a blue paladin lady who attacks them and tries to escort them to Azure City as prisoners. That eventually happens after some bickering and infighting and character development. Haley loses her voice because she lost all her gold, but then she gets it all back. She gets her voice back. She doesn't get the gold back. The gold melted. But then Elan and Haley end up finally being in a relationship. The ruler of the Azure City, Lord Shoujo, was a senile old man, but secretly wasn't, and now he's hired them to help control the place. Oh, and also Azure City is built upon a seal that holds together the fabric of the universe. But that is neither here nor there.
If I was an old man, I would probably pretend to be senile as well.
It's true. He get away with so much. He's one of the best characters in here. But sadly, he died because the paladin that escorted our group here went crazy and killed him because she thought that's what he wanted. He thought it was all a ruse. Anyway, but before we get into that, this is all just explanation anyway. So, on to the second half of the exposition. Wow, so can you guys believe Mika flipped out like that?
Suddenly, I
find it to be entirely in keeping with what I know of her. No, I mean, did you expect her to flip out in that exact manner?
Oh, no, not at all.
Aye.
I find it to be entirely in keeping with what I know of her.
And it couldn't have come at a worse time with Zyklon on the way.
Yeah, by tomorrow we'll all be swimming in hobgoblins. Not literally, I hope.
Oddly, it was quite serendipitous that Elon's brother enacted his circuitous plan to destroy Elon at that precise moment, or we would have found ourselves investigating lands on the far side of the globe when Zyklon invaded. Oh, definitely. In reward for his efforts, we've given him the best, safest view from which to watch the coming battle.
You mean the prison tower we just threw him in?
Exactly. I'm not worried about the hobgoblins. Roy and Hydro and all the generals are meeting in an hour to come up with the big battle plan. I'm sure they'll come up with something good. Tell you what, I'll let you guys know what they say.
You have an invitation to the War Council?
Nope, but I do have a maxed bluff skill that's been burning a hole in my pocket for 6 weeks.
It's a shame about Belcar, though. They could have used any high-level warrior they could get their hands on right now.
Well, Roy said to me that he had an idea to fix that, but I'm not sure what.
Hey, I'm sorry, guys. Guys, I apologize for interrupting. I totally understand that things are moving pretty quickly, and it helps to talk things out so that you and your friends are on the same page. However, be that as it may, we're kinda in the middle of something here.
Boy, you give a guy a crown and it goes straight to his head.
Where else would a crown go?
Shush. In the few hours since we learned of the threat, we diviners have done our best to scry the invading army. Most of our divinations have been blocked so far, but we have been able to glean some basic information. The enemy army seems to have at least 30,000 soldiers, predominantly hobgoblins and zombies, plus a few siege engines. Right now they are camped 8 miles northeast of the main gate of the city.
They should be here in the morning, or by midday at the latest. General Chang, what's our troop disposition?
We have no more than 9,000 soldiers within the city limits, or close enough to recall in time. Swordsmen, pikemen, and archers mostly, though few have ever seen a real battle. We're going to the station, most of them here, on the city wall to repel the invaders.
Why does this model have Azure City being guarded entirely by reptilian humanoids?
Well, we were in a rush, so we used these pre-painted plastic mitches, Lord Hinjo. We kind of had to make do with what we got. We didn't even get any human archers, and we opened 30 booster packs. The lizard folk are the archers, the Yonti are the pikemen, and the kobolds are the swordsmen.
And those hobgoblins down there are the hobgoblins?
No, sir. The bugbears are the hobgoblins. The hobgoblins are the zombies.
Please tell me that our chances of victory are better than the chances of finding the right miniatures.
The hobos have us outnumbered 3-1, but the defensive fortifications can't be underestimated. Call it an even fight.
An even fight, except for all the undead.
Zombies? Really? I mean, unless a Michael Jackson video erupts right in the middle of our war, I don't really expect them to do much more than shuffle around. Even green troops should be able to handle them, as they have a slashing weapon armed.
All your lizard guys have those little battle axes, so you're fine.
They don't have battle axes because they're not lizard folk. They're archers.
Oh, right. I forgot. You should really have them, labeled or something.
Look, forget about the zombies. They don't worry me. Ghouls do. One ghoul can paralyze a dozen first-level fighters over the course of a battle, and we think they have a few hundred ghouls. Sangwan, how many...
314.
How did you know I was...
You were going to ask how many clerics we have that are capable of turning undead.
Yeah, but the real question is...
249 of them are 3rd level or lower.
I'm over here.
Okay, assign one low-level cleric to each squad on the wall.
Yes, sir. Well, we use, troglodyte miniatures to represent the clerics, then.
Geez, so they have a chick who can read minds, but she can't find the figures they want in a sealed box?
Their job is to turn undead and heal the soldiers, nothing else. If their position is overrun, have them fall back and join another squad. I don't want anyone trying to be a PC out there. The higher level clerics, along with any arcane spellcasters we have, should stay back here on the castle where they can see the whole battle. I guess we'll use this guy in the robes with the dragon head for them.
Ooh, that's a half-dragon sorcerer. Can I have that after the meeting?
Hey, Lee.
What? It's a rare. I can get 30 GP for it.
And the paladins, Lord, many are away, but there are at least 100 of us here.
The newbies should stay behind the wall to defend the citizens in case they breach it. The rest, you know where they should make their stand.
Yes, my lord, we will gladly lay down our lives in defense of the tower. Would you prefer to represent our sacrifice with the red dragon hatchlings or the fiendish boars?
Damn it, more human archers. Keep looking. There's gotta be at least one lizard folk in there.
Leon, I want everyone who can't fight loaded onto a ship tonight.
figures.
Too old, too young, too sick,
Whackity
too weak.
schmackity doo.
Sir, that would be thousands, tens of thousands, maybe more.
Commandeer any private ship you can. Dump any cargo that's not food. Have them sail at dawn. If all goes well, they can come back in a few days.
A few days? What if the army lays siege? It could take months.
It won't. Zycon has no interest in the city itself, and he's not terribly patient. He'll try to seize what he wants as soon as he possibly can.
Is
Now,
that me?
yeah.
Wait, if we know what this guy wants, why don't we just give it to him?
Daimyo Kubota, I can assure you, it's not that simple.
Don't see any reason why it shouldn't be exactly that easy. Look, Lord Hinjo. I know this is your first day on the job and all, but it seems to me that you are ruling. He finished in his native tongue. But it seems to me that you're rushing the city into a war we don't need to fight and may not win. I propose we send a diplomatic envoy to this Zycon and see if we can't agree to terms.
That's not really viable.
Maybe it would be for a man with a little more leadership.
You tried.
Maybe it would be for a man with a little more leadership experience. Someone like myself, perhaps.
Step back, mustache lad. You know, this isn't some band of disgruntled peasants upset about the latest tax hike. You can't come to terms with an inhuman, soulless corpse animated by pure evil. Zycon cares for nothing but your complete and total...
Yahtzee! Yes!
Sir, shouldn't we be planning for tomorrow's battle?
You're just mad because I keep winning fair and square.
Yes, you figured me out. My desire to formulate a basic strategy for our impending invasion is solely because I am unable to roll 5 of a kind.
Destruction.
Yes, well, then I see no reason to send my forces into a suicidal battle when other options have not been explored. My samurai and men-at-arms will join me on my personal ship with as many members of my house as I can fit.
Indeed, my forces will not participate either.
May the 12 gods forgive you if Azure City falls while under your rule, Hinju.
Well, that could have gone better. Of course, men like Kubota don't care if the city falls or not, as long as he comes out of it with his power intact. Now that they know what we're facing, they'll wonder if the whole thing could be avoided if I suddenly joined my uncle in the afterlife. I expect they will move against me shortly.
I concur.
They especially don't trust you because you don't sound Asian.
Yes.
Hey, I know how to stop your whining. Let's fire up the crystal ball and scry on our unwitting mole. That's sort of like a strategy.
I suppose.
We have a mole? Can I pet it?
Wait, shouldn't there have been someone watching the crystal ball all along? The likelihood that she will be standing next to the gate of the exact moment you scry is pretty low.
Relax, I know. That's why I bought a TiVo. I said to record everything the paladin chick did since we let her escape. TiVo! How does this remote work? There we go.
Oh, who's that guy?
Oh, right. It does that sometimes. I told it to record a paladin, and it decided to record other paladins it thought I might enjoy watching. I haven't figured out how to turn it off. I'll save this one to watch later.
Miku, what's wrong?
Hinto, I must speak with Lord Shoujo at once. I bring dire news. Okay, here we go. There's our unlucky lady.
Looks like she just got to the city. Fast forward it. Sir, I think she's entering the throne room. Press play.
Who's the other guy?
No idea.
Damn it!
The throne room must be shielded against scrying.
Well, didn't you turn out to be a waste of money? Now, where did I put that receipt?
Hey, it's back.
The city. It was so tiny that Dorokan and Lyrian were capable of using a single gemstone to seal it.
What happened to her? She's all beige now.
I know! Murky and Lurky must have stolen her colors.
For the last time, those characters exist only in a Rainbow Bright cartoon.
Ended my heart.
Quiet, both of you. Listen to the man speaking off camera.
The throne, the platform, even this entire castle was built around that single sapphire.
The gate is inside the throne of the Lord of Azure City?
Gate?
Frodo, we must destroy the Ming. I'm too weak, Samwise. What the?
I think it recorded locations of other plot central artifacts you might also enjoy.
Ooh, does it know where my receipt is?
Also, she turned beige because the moment is when she killed her lord Shoujo. She was divinely stripped of her paladin status.
Sir, that's it. I'm afraid I'm going to have to put a stop to your blind date marathon.
You have one round to make this worthwhile, or I push the eviscerate button on TiVo's remote.
Here's what I'm offering. Talk about strategy with me for 10 minutes, and this hobgoblin will hit the other hobgoblin in the face with a banana cream pie.
Seems kind of tame.
They don't know that I've infested the pie with acid-spitting beetles.
Let's talk tactics.
I'm prepared. I prepared this map of Azure City. As I see it, we have superior numbers and tougher soldiers, but they have the more mid and low level spellcasters and impressive fortifications. I was considering sending all of our troops here towards the castle since that's our true goal. What do you suggest as our best plan of action, Lord Zycon?
Oh, sorry. I just fell asleep right in the middle of that.
You're a lich. You're actually physically incapable of sleeping.
Which should just emphasize how boring that was. Look, we have a big friggin' army. They have a castle. It seems pretty straightforward to me. It's not even like we want their crummy city anyway. It's probably like sanctified or something. Ew. The only reason you and I aren't just sneaking in and grabbing the stupid thing is that it can't be moved, and they're likely to get upset if we loiter in their throne room for the few weeks it would take to complete the rituals.
Have you considered asking nicely?
So I say we march up to the city walls and start blasting away.
Oh, very good, sir. Should I begin painting the bullseye on you right now, or would you prefer to... Thank you, sir. I think I know how to distribute the troops now.
What? Oh, well, you're welcome. Glad I could help.
If you'll excuse me, I need to speak with the Legion commanders now.
Aren't you forgetting something?
All right, do it.
Beetles! And they're spitting acid in my eyes.
Now they're spitting acid in my eyes too.
It's funny because it's true.
Don't go anywhere. I've still got a coconut custard as a siege engine disposition written all over it.
Hey, I've got a few special packages for Hobgoblin Ass. Could you ladies deliver them for me tomorrow? Try not to kill all of them before I get a chance to fight, though. Wow, I wish I was so confident. Heck, why shouldn't you be? You're a tough fighter chick, right? Actually, I've never been in a real battle before. Well, I'm not worried. Me and all my friends have beaten Zycon before. I'll do it again. You just chill out and leave the heavy fighting to us.
Excuse me. You know this isn't just your adventuring party squaring off a level-appropriate encounter. This is a war. There are likely to be significant casualties. We're outnumbered 3-1, outmatched, and suffering from severe morale problems, thanks to the fact the Lord Shoujo died under circumstances that we can't share with the troops. This is hardly the easy victory you just implied.
I'm sorry, but they're 1 HD hobgoblins. I think each soldier can handle 3 of them.
Right, because the forces of evil are always considerate enough to attack in discrete 3-person groups. I'm sure they'll pause for tea and biscuits at 4 o'clock too. Let's say your armor class is so high that they need a natural 20 to hit you. Statistically, that still means that 1 out of every 20 attacks is still hurting you. If each hobgoblin gets off 4 attacks before you can put them down, then for every 5 foes you face tomorrow, you'll be stabbed once. So what are you going to do if the entire army attacks, say, the south wall? Can you survive fighting 100 hobgoblins until they reinforce your position? How about 200? 2,000?
I guess I never thought about it.
Most of our soldiers are not that experienced. Even if we hold the city tomorrow, it may be the last night alive for many of those girls you just told to chill out. It might even be the last night for you, one of your friends. This isn't the dungeon. In a war, people on the winning side still die. You might want to consider taking it somewhat seriously.
I thought you were going to spend the night helping Roy prepare for the battle.
I had a change of priorities. Dun dun dun.
Leon, have all the ships launched?
That was the last wave. That was the last one. That was the last wave. All have launched save this one, Lord Hinjo.
There's not even anyone aboard yet. What's going on here?
Sir, this was Lord Shoja's personal pleasure yacht, though I suppose it belongs to you now. This is your junk.
Why aren't there any citizens aboard it yet?
Your uncle was a very private person, sir. He forbade anyone from touching his junk.
Well, that ends now. My uncle may have kept his junk to himself, but my junk will be for the people. Are there still evacuees waiting to board a ship?
Oh, yes, sir. I imagine I'll have no trouble finding people willing to get aboard your junk. It should be able to hold many passengers.
I agree. My junk appears to be quite long.
Wider than I would have expected to.
Very well. Leon, you hold my junk here until it is fully loaded.
That could take some time, Lord Hinjo.
I don't care how long it takes. I don't want my junk to launch prematurely. Now, did you deliver that package for me?
Yes, sir. I handled your package personally.
Outstanding.
I sense a great disturbance, as if 1,000 double entendres cried out and were suddenly silenced. Rise and shine, honey. You don't want to be late for your first day as an imprisoned criminal.
Where am I?
You're in jail.
What?
You know, the slammer, the pokey, the big house, the hooskow, the clink. You're in a dungeon, and not the kind with inexplicably placed monsters and enormous piles of treasure. Ladies and gentlemen of maximum security, may I present paladin turned murderer Miko Miyazaki. Miko just committed her very first evil act, so let's all give her a round of applause.
Woo!
Good job.
I'm going to kill you, halfling.
And she's already working towards her second. What a go-getter.
Ooh, you're a fallen paladin? No.
Are you kidding? She fell so hard, I think she left cracks on the floor.
Hey, so, you know the lower planes are always looking for ex-paladins to become blackguards, right? Leave me be, fiend. Come on. It's not like those paladin levels are doing much for you now. Plus, for a limited time, we're offering 5,000 GP cash back on qualified level trade-ins.
Sabine, baby, not that I don't like to watch you work, but what exactly are you doing? I'm not really seeing her as a linear guild material.
If I turn a paladin into a blackguard, I win a free weekend getaway at a great resort in the astral plane. All expenses paid, and seriously, baby, you should see the pools in that place. Besides, Nail, look at that body. You can't tell me she wouldn't look sexy in black leather. Excuse me? Well, I mean, there's friendly contact with an evil outsider, and then there's friendly contact with an evil outsider, know what I mean? Come here. Ah, see, I knew she'd be... Fine, be that way. But if you decide to sell your soul later, I can't guarantee that I'll pay full market value. Duly noted.
What is
Paladin
happening?
What?
like what was that whole scene?
Okay, so Sabine is a succubus or demon of some sort. Yes. And that's Miko Miyazaki. She killed the leader. She is no longer a paladin. It's sort of just establishing where those guys are and also having a laugh.
This is it?
All the prisoners that were in jail were over level 5, except
Except those in there for capital crime, like treason.
Why didn't you tell him about the 3 prisoners that weren't on the jail records?
Lord Hinjo has too much to worry about right now without hearing about prison bookkeeping errors. It can wait.
Good morning. As some of you may already know, Azure City is being threatened by an invading army of hobgoblin soldiers and their undead allies. I have just received word that this army is on the move and should be here in a few hours. All of you are guilty of crimes against Azure City and its citizens, ranging from grand larceny to unnatural acts of wizardry to kidnapping to voluntary manslaughter.
Manslaughter? I thought I was going down for at least murder too. This'll wreak havoc with my street cred.
You are all also fairly high level in your chosen classes, and right now your city needs all the high level characters it can muster. We are willing to reduce your prison sentence by 5 years if you contribute to the defense of Azure City by helping defeat the invaders. If you accept, your sentence will be reduced after we drive off the hobgoblin horde. Or you can refuse and pray to the 12 gods that their catapults don't hit the prison tower while you're still locked inside. Either way, this offer expires in 5 minutes. I've got too much to do to wait for your decision.
Yeah, okay, I'm in.
I suppose.
Not me. I've got 14 years left. I'll take my chances that the goblins plaster you.
Elkar, what about you?
Well, I'm no legal expert, but I'm pretty sure I haven't actually been convicted of anything.
That's a good point. Very well, I'll summon the guards to take you back.
No, wait, he pleads guilty.
What? No, I don't.
Yes, you do.
No, I don't.
Yes, you do. Look, I'm the one who talked Hinjo into reducing charges to manslaughter, since you're imprisoned falsely by a ruler acting outside the bounds of the law. Now, the minimum penalty for manslaughter in Azure City is 4 years in prison. Now, do you see where I'm going with this?
No.
You plead guilty, get sentenced to 4 years. Then, defend the city, kick Zykon's ass, and your sentence gets reduced to 5 years. Gets reduced by 5 years.
How the hell do I serve -1 years in prison?
You don't, you idiot. You get set free.
Oh, I get it. Okay then, I plead guilty.
Very well. Since we don't have a magistrate available, it falls to me to pass sentence. Belkar Bitterleaf, for the crime of voluntary manslaughter, I sentence you to spend a term in prison equal to 6 years.
What?
Ah, crap.
Yeah, well, you probably shouldn't have discussed how you were going to beat the system in front of the guy charged with upholding the system. I still get to make listen checks when I'm 3 feet away, you know. However, I'll make you a separate deal, Belkar. If you help defend the city, I'll have my wizards remove that mark of justice from you afterwards.
Hello? I was getting that taken off now anyway. My trial is over.
Nope. Because see, Azure City doesn't use the mark of justice as part of its legal system. That was strictly the act of my uncle, working above the law. Therefore, technically, I'm not legally bound to ever remove it from you. However, when Miko was charging at you, swords drawn, you stood there and blocked her path, even though you were almost certainly going to be cut down. That says to me that perhaps your time with the mark has taught you something about yourself. That maybe you're a better person than before it was put on you. I figure that if you acquit yourself well in this battle while still under the mark's influence, then you deserve the chance to prove it.
I am so confused.
He's doing it because he thinks you've learned your lesson. And with my guidance, you'll stop resorting to violence to solve your problems.
Oh, I get it. So, he's doing it because he doesn't really know me at all then?
Pretty much.
Cool with me. Let's go massacre something.
Oh, Belkar. Hey, what's up? The most invaluable person in the war is the man who is psychopathic and homicidal.
Yeah, I think that was Sun Tzu.
Was.
How did he ever get so many potions of heroism?
Do not ask. It was a long, boring joke, and it's terrible. Sir, the enemy will be within sight in about an hour.
Good. This waiting is just making everyone tense.
Come on, Roy. You didn't let me do a preparation montage. You have to at least let me do the big pre-battle speech.
No way. No how. Just no.
But it's a bardic rite of passage.
Well, you have to pass your bardic through some other rite then.
I didn't want to have to do this, but I'm just going to have to go over your head on this one.
How can you go over my head? I'm the leader.
Hinjo, can I give a rousing pre-battle speech to the troops? Please, pretty please with sugar on top.
Sure.
Ha!
Fine, as long as no one comes crying to me when...
Ha!
Good luck, honey.
Thanks! I have a really good feeling. Friends, Azurites, countrymen, lend me your ears. Not literally, because ew, I mean that would be disgusting. And messy, and since you'd just be lending them, we'd have to figure out how to reattach them all, and that'd be a lot of work. Today we stand here on the wall, preparing to defend the city from the forces of evil, and probably chaos too. We happy few, we band of brothers and sisters, definitely also sisters. They are part of the band too. I think they play drums. A day may come when the courage of man and woman fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day, and if the battle lasts through tomorrow, it's not that day either. It may or may not be day after that. I'm not sure. Still too early to tell. But in case it's not that day, or it is that day, but the battle is already over, so it doesn't matter, I want you to remember this. No one ever won a war by dying for their country. They won by making the other guy die for his country, which still applies even through hobgoblins don't live in countries. They live in caves. I think so. Make them die for their caves. Admittedly sounds a lot less heroic than dying for your country. But today will be the day when Azure City declares in one voice, we will not go quietly into the night. We will not vanish without a fight. And the fact that it rhymes does not make it any less true. We'll stand here together and tell our enemies that they may take our lives, but they will never take our freedom. Unless they kill us, then animate our dead corpses as zombies to fight for them, then I suppose they've taken our lives and our freedom. Fight, 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 fight!
You
suck.
So we got a mix of Mark Antony and then General Patton and then Independence Day. Interesting.
I think I see them.
Yep, that's them.
There's so many. Crap, are those flying troops there? Oh, this sucks.
You know, I heard that Shoujo was in league with the hobgoblins, so they took him down.
Well, I heard that Hinjo went nuts and killed the old man himself just so he could seize power.
Politics as usual.
Oh man, I can't wait.
I know, we're finally gonna get to fight the humans.
I'm totally stoked, guys.
You know, at first, I wasn't so sure about this goblin as a leader, but this is just awesome.
Yeah, any leader who let us invade a city and crush it beneath our heels is okay in my book.
Brains.
Roy, I have some last-minute orders for you. When Zyklon shows himself, you and your team go after him. You're high enough level to stand a chance, and you've fought him before.
Protection from arrows.
Don't worry about guarding me. You see him, you get to him, and eliminate his ability to participate in this battle.
Oh, no problem. I was pretty much going to do that exactly anyway.
Lord Hinjo, are you sure this is wise?
Excuse me, Red Cloak. Can I just get a minute?
No.
Great. So, are you certain this plan you've got going on is a good idea?
Yes, for the 1 billionth time, I am certain. Now stop bothering me. We're ready to start.
It's just that this plan doesn't really seem that conducive to my long-term, well...
Listen to me, you whiny crybaby. Sack of undead crap. You are going to do exactly what I tell you to do, or I will rebuke you into next week.
Okay. Sorry.
Make love, not war.
Infernal hippie.
If Zycon doesn't fall, there's not much chance of us winning this. A sorcerer that powerful doesn't engage opponents. He alters the course of entire battles. We need him down, quickly. Roy and the rest can worry about whether he regenerates after the army is beaten.
Are you sure it's wise to allow them autonomy? Shouldn't they remain under our command for the entire battle?
Adventurers, O'Toole. They work better on their own. Let Roy fight his war, and you and I will fight ours, yes?
Yes, my lord. I go to defend Soon's Gate.
May the 12 gods go with you.
If I do not see you again in this world, we will share a drink in the next.
Wow, that was surprisingly therapeutic.
Did you? I mean, I can't believe you just said that to Zycon.
Sorry, I really don't have time for you right now.
But I'm so confused.
I've been dreaming of this day for 2/3 of my life, when I would stand at the gates of Azure City with enough force to crush every last paladin into thick red gooey paste.
Orders, Supreme Leader.
This one's for you, Mom. Fire the catapults.
Wow. Incoming artillery.
What, already?
Supreme Leader, should we have not waited until we were closer? Those boulders will not reach.
Oh, I appreciate your input, General, but since I didn't fire boulders, your concern is unwarranted. Boulders don't do enough collateral damage for our needs. You fire them once, then they're done. That's why I summoned up a few elemental drafties to help us out.
What the?
Move!
Oh, wait, are you saying that you just fired 5 earth elementals out of catapults at them?
Don't be ridiculous. Earth elementals are way too heavy. They'd never fly that far. I fired 5 titanium elementals at them. They're just as strong and 40% lighter. What? Hey, it's not my fault everyone else limits themselves to 4 elementals. Some of us got passing grades in chem. I mean, fire shouldn't even count. It's a chemical reaction. They're not called reactionals, you know.
He besieged me with science.
12 gods! They're tearing up the walls! What are those things?
Titanium. Very distasteful. Does he not know that the classical elements are classics for a reason?
Their weapons are barely hurting it.
Let us handle it. Durkin, Haley, Elon, you take the one on the right. Belcar, we'll take the one in the middle.
Then I suppose that I shall handle the 3 on the left.
What? No, it's too dangerous. We'll fight them after...
Fret not, I put a few scrolls that shall do the trick.
Vesuvius!
Time is at a premium, precluding extended discussion. Expeditious retreat. Ooh. I fully expected to use these on demons, but elemental interlopers will suffice. Dismissal. Clong. Thud. Dismissal. Dismissal. Featherfall.
Hey, thanks, friend.
I thought those things were going to kill us.
Think nothing of it. I merely exercised one of the oldest truisms in warfare. Paper beats rock.
Look, it's not my fault. I can't remember if elementals are living or not.
Oh, I should mention right now. So Curse of the mark that they were talking about on Belcar. So Belcar, in order to stop him from causing any more damage, was marked for justice, which makes him unable to kill any living thing within city limits or be 1 mile away from Roy or anything like that. So he has to live by these rules. Otherwise, he will suffer from excruciating pain and sickness that will render him incapacitated. And yeah, so that's why he's not able to kill any living thing. I hope Vesuvius is okay.
Whoa! We kicked their shiny metal asses.
Too little, too late, I'm afraid. They ripped some major holes in the wall before we beat them.
Agreed. It would have been much worse if not for you, but Zycon won this round by weakening our fortifications.
Sir, we have archers advancing.
Fire! But I don't want to fight in the shade.
Elon, get down! I said get down!
Go!
Archers, return fire!
So, you doing anything after the world, gorgeous?
I have a boyfriend.
Roy, you saved my life. You took an arrow for me. 3 arrows.
Let the regretting begin. Listen, I didn't save your life. I saved you from 3 arrows. That's like 1 healing potion. And it would have been a waste of resources to use it up. It's pure numbers, nothing more.
Yeah, but now you need to drink a healing potion. So it's the same waste of resources, the only difference being that you felt the pain instead of Elan.
What's your point? What?
You like me.
Well, what? No, I don't.
Roy likes Elon.
Shut up.
Roy and Elan sitting in a tree.
Shut up.
They're moving in, sir.
Prepare to hold this breach at all costs, men.
You may consider all of my spellcasting services at your disposal, General. I do not believe I have the luxury of returning to my assigned position before the enemy is upon us.
We'll take all the help we can get. I don't suppose you have any spells that will seal this hole in the wall.
Not exactly, but I do have an idea.
They're splitting into 3 groups now. One is headed to the south end of the wall. The second appears to be charging directly towards the breach in the north. The remainder of the forces are hanging back to protect the archers and catapults.
Okay. Is Icon leading any of the 3 groups? We should attack whichever army he's with, while your forces hold off the rest.
Yes, it seems so. He appears to be leading the southern division.
Hey, so, guys, maybe I was thinking you could sort of form like a shield around me while we advance. Just a suggestion.
Are you sure? Because he's also leading the charge towards the breach. Straight at Vesuvius.
The crowd will hungrily lap up the spilled blood of the righteous this unholy day.
Aye, but if that's me, Zycon, then who be there holding the position in the rear?
Interesting. Greenhilt is here with his Order of the Stick.
Who?
Never mind.
Wait, 3 Icons?
This can only mean one thing. They're identical triplets. Identical skeletal triplets. The rarest kind.
Or that 2 of them are decoys.
Right, or that.
Question is, which 2? Sangwan, cast True Seeing. Which ones are illusions?
I cannot tell, Lord Shinjo. My true seeing spells do not have sufficient range from this position.
Oh, does one of them have a goatee? Because if so, that's the bad one.
Elon, I think maybe it's quiet time while the grown-ups think, okay?
Here's an idea. Who the hell cares? Let's just fight them all.
Oh, great. Tell me then, which one first? They're so far apart that if we choose the wrong one, by the time we engage and defeat the decoy, the real Zycon will have blown through Azure City's defenses like a crossbow bolt through a wet character sheet. It will take too long to get from one end of the city to the other, and we're the only ones with a chance to actually defeat them. Wait, Hinjo, did you ever raise that wizard your uncle sent with us to Cliffport? The one that could cast teleport?
When did you go to Cliffport?
Damn.
The nobles probably employed a few wizards who could teleport, but if they did, they took them with them out to sea.
Great. So there's no way out of it. We have to pick the one to fight.
We need help for Vesuvius. Zycon's nearing the breach.
Unless that's a decoy. In which case, it's smarter to leave V to handle it alone. Either way, we need to choose soon.
Go. Charge! Did they take the bait yet?
No, they appear paralyzed with indecision.
That works too.
Zycon is a triplet?
Truly it is a poor omen when elves are doing stonemasonry.
Wizard, I need to speak with you. Is it true that you asked my captain to only stand these 13 pikemen in the breach?
These are your best soldiers, are they not?
Yes, they're all 5th level, but...
They each imbibed one of the potions I gave you.
Yes, but...
Asper's endurance.
Now look here!
Aspel's strength.
It doesn't matter how many of your magical bonuses you pile on. A dozen or so men cannot hold this gap. The enemy will simply run right over them.
General, you may have noticed that my explanations tend to consume more time than my plans themselves. Given that time is a factor, I simply say that it is imperative that you not send any more troops into the breach now.
The enemy is 180 feet away and closing fast, General. 120 feet, 60 feet, Here they come!
That's it. Captain, advance another 50 soldiers into the...
Master Large Person.
Oh.
Okay, the Zycon on the horse is almost to the breach. That means we're out of time. We're going to risk splitting the team up. We'll ignore the one in the rear since it's not attacking you. Belcor, Elon, you join Varsuvius. Durkin, Haley, and I will take the one in the south. Hinjo, if the one in the rear moves, send...
Wait, stop. I've got it. It's a shell game. You know, like set up on street corners, 3 nutshells, a ball, they mix them up and you pick one.
Yeah, I know what a shell game is, Haley. It's just that you're not telling me anything I don't already know. 2 of the Zycons are fake. We need to figure out which ones.
No, look, it's a swindle. At its most basic, the shell...
Do you have some information regarding which Zycon is the real one?
No! God, it's frustrating how lawful you people are. I know everyone got in the habit of ignoring the gibberish that was coming out of my mouth, but you need to listen to what I am saying. Roy, Hinjo, you two may not know warfare, but I know how to run a con. A con man doesn't choose to play the shell game with you if there is any possibility of him actually losing. The con isn't in getting you to pick the wrong shell. The con is in getting you to accept that the basic premise of the game is still being followed. The con is getting you to play a shell game at all. The ball isn't under the first shell, or the second shell, or even the third shell. The ball is in the con man's palm the whole time.
Wait, I think I get it. Haley, you're a genius.
I don't. Can someone explain it to me?
Bottom line, none of the Zycons we see are real. Why should they give us a 33% chance to pick a right one when they can give us a 0% chance? If they can create 2 decoys, why not 3?
Are you certain?
No, but I trust her gut.
A ruse that relies on the target's innate acceptance of the role presented to him against a league of paladins? Easy money.
Let's say you're right. Where's the real Zycon now?
Someplace else. Someplace where we can't see him. Probably making a beeline for the throne room.
He could be anywhere.
Yeah, but for maximum effectiveness, he'd be in the last place we'd expect.
Where's that?
Don't know. I'm not done expecting other places yet.
Hey, is there any chance we can hurry this up? It's Pat is already fireballing hobgoblins down there, and me, I'm just standing around here freezing my considerable assets off in this wind.
Keep it down, Belcar. This is more important than complaining about the wind.
Sanguan, cast your spell now.
Yes, Lord Injo. And look up. True seeing. Oh my.
Well?
Do you see anything? He's coming straight at us.
Crap, he has invisibility? Crap, he has greater invisibility?
Not for long, you don't. Greater the spell magic.
Is that a freaking dragon?
Thor's nostrils.
I should have stayed in jail.
I wasn't expecting that.
Whoa, that is so cool.
I don't mean to be an alarmist, but he doesn't look like he's slowing down.
Twink, bonk, bonk. I don't think we had any effect on it. I freaking hate damage reduction.
That's okay. I have a weapon right here that can hurt it, and its master. I just need to get a little bit closer. Die! Again.
What the? Man, that was weird. I wonder if I should buzz the walls again before I head off. What the hell? You only unlive once. I should probably stay away from that guy with the green-hilted sword, whoever he is. He's coming back for another run. Higher this time.
Damn it. Where's the wizard with the fly spell when you really need one?
Hey, Roy, I've got the next best thing. My ring of jumping, plus 20. Take it and get all up in his business.
Really?
It's not doing me any good, but hurry, the bastard is on his way back right now.
You're attacking Zycon alone? Have you gone mad?
You saw? No one else's weapons could penetrate their undead flesh. They're vulnerable to star metal. Without V's spells, this is our only chance to take them out.
Spell resistance. Freedom of movement.
Good luck.
Tell Haley to hold the walls until I get back. The hobgoblins are getting ready to scale them.
Pay up.
Damn, I was sure he'd be too smart to try that jump. Oh, epic. Unholy crap!
Remember me, Zycon?
No. Should I?
What? You stupid...
Hey, quit scratching at my ride. You wouldn't believe what my insurance premiums on this thing are. Here's a little something I learned last night while watching Star Trek on TiVo. Evasive maneuvers.
Whoa. Oh, God, I shouldn't have had sushi for breakfast. I think I'm going to be sick.
We may die today, man, but at least we die with honor.
Feel better now? Here, let me lend you a hand.
No, thanks.
How about just a finger then? Finger of death, specifically.
Oh, my gods. I'm so going to crawl up there and kill you.
You might want to work on your build optimization on the way up, Baldy. Hey, wait a second. I know who you are now.
Yeah, damn straight you know who I am.
You're that guy. The one who kept getting pissed off at me for not remembering something.
Damn it!
Typical. 10 minutes in, and he's already managed to put his foot into a big, steaming pile of adventurers.
So Zycon is actually a quadruplet?
If I continue to ignore you, you're going to spout inane observations about this for the rest of the war, aren't you?
Probably.
Fine. After I talked about strategy with Zycon, or should I say, at Zycon, I got all of the monster books together and looked up some undead that were skeletal and free-willed. I made 3 that fit the bill well enough. A Death Knight, a Hukava, and an Eye of Fear and Flame. Though I think I got a little too much fear and not enough flame on that one.
For mature audiences. Woo!
How did you get them to look exactly like Zycon?
I didn't. They're human skeletons. I put a blue robe on them and called it a night. Heck, I had to put those colored pendants on them just to tell them apart. The idea was the real Zycon would sneak into the castle, kill everyone there, and animate them as zombies. Summon a few monsters for flavor, and boom, we've opened up a second front behind the defenders. It's all shot to hell now that they've decloaked him, though. Oh well, you there. Go ahead and take a few thousand troops to reinforce your cowardly friend out there.
On it, Chief. Protection from good. Divine power.
Wow, I didn't know Zycon knew how to cast cleric spells, too.
What are you talking about? I just explained this. That wasn't really... Yeah, that Zycon sure is amazing, isn't he?
Do his brothers know he can do that?
That is going to stop it for now. We'll spend the next episode going to the actual war, but you did the quick precursor so that everything as much as we know. But yeah, what did you guys think of Order of the Stick?
I will say the amount of spelling errors throughout these pages is quite alarming. He spelled Michael Jackson wrong.
Oh, I didn't even notice that one.
I mean, it's a hard name to spell, so.
Is it EA or AE? Who knows?
Well, it's ER from what I understand.
Oh, my curve?
Yeah. Well, no, I think it's spelled PEDOFHILE.
Oh my gosh! Whoa, you misspelled that word too.
Did I?
Yes, you said an F.
Oh, did I?
I actually think this is pretty fun, not for nothing.
Really?
Even though I fell asleep. Yeah. No, dude, it's 20 after 1 by me. Like, I'm an old man.
Oh.
I'm the references to a lot of different things is definitely a lot of fun. It's it's not brilliantly done, but it's fun.
Yes.
Yeah, I genuinely am bored to shit by it. It's dense and uninteresting for the most part, and maybe that's because I missed the rest of the start and I'm not invested in the characters at all. But it's just like people standing around discussing like battle tactics, but not in an interesting way, and when there are jokes, they're not very funny. But that's just me. I mean, yeah. And I'm not going because I'm bored, by the way. Like, I've actually got to get going. But
all right. So yeah. To be fair, as Glenn with the Blast Wave has informed us, war in itself is also pretty boring. Hey, Caleb, how do you think of the way that this is developing? Oh no.
No, I'm here. So I was thinking about this. I kind of think I understand where like Phalanx is coming from. I think at this point, like, there's a lot of text, and it's a comic, and it's meant to be read. And like, I feel like at this point, that's where we are in the comic, where like you really would just have to sit down and read it, because you can read so much faster than you can speak, you know, or at least I assume most people can.
Well, I can. Some of you lamos take a while.
But no. But I mean, like, you can read faster than you can speak, is what I'm saying. Like than you could ever speak. Meaning that, like, you know, when you're like, you could be getting through these pages, like, you know, we spent however long, and hypothetically, you could get through all these pages in maybe like 20, maybe 30 minutes or whatever. I mean, I don't know how long everyone would take, but like hypothetically, you could. And you know, I think that would be like a lot better pace for it. Because I think right now, with us having to read everything out loud, I think the pacing of it is really slowed down. And I think the skipping that big chunk has even like, I missed a week and then we skipped a big chunk. And I think for like, especially people who just jumped in, or me who missed a big section, there are certain parts that's like, oh, I don't exactly know what's happening. And it's super wordy and the pacing is slow, which is why I would understand why, you know, why Phalanx felt the way he did about it. Like, it makes sense. On the other hand, I see this and it just makes me say, like, oh, I'd rather be reading this. I'd rather just sit down and read through all this rather than, you know.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Well, what I originally wanted to do was start in the Azure City, because that's where most of the things that we lost that would have alleviated a lot of that. Like, because Azure City is where all of the character development really happens. That's where Haley starts to open up about herself, and there's also some really good writing in that. However, if we were to go that route, we would need to dedicate a whole 4 episodes in order to actually appreciate everything that it has to offer. And it was either that or skip to the war bit. So I decided to just skip to the war bit, because it has enough exposition to kind of clue you in at least a little as to what's going on. Other than that, Flapjack, this is your first episode. How do you feel?
I exactly don't know what's going on. I've never read it before, so I mean, it's cool. Like, I think some of it's fun. Like, I do see how like it's really wordy and the pacing is slow, and I think like naturally it would probably take me like 15 minutes or something to read through it.
Yeah,
but I think it's cool. I didn't know that like stick figures were still a thing, so it's kind of interesting to see how much detail you can get into it with it still being like stick figure length. So
I think that Order of the Stick is like one of the last bastions for the stick figure comics, aside from like, you know, the obvious Cyanide and Happiness. Yeah. However, it does do well with its actual environments and stuff, and it uses it to good enough effect. I will say, though, as for its wordiness, I feel like a part of that is to kind of compensate, because you have to balance writing and art. And when the art style is lacking as it is, or as basic as it is, the writing itself has to compensate for that by being as complex and as wordy as it is.
Yeah, which isn't a bad thing. Just like, it's just not what I'm normally used to looking at. But I mean, it's cool. So nothing bad for me, I guess.
Yeah. Naira, how do you feel?
Well, it's cringe. It's very cringe, and I really do enjoy it. Like, I don't know if it's just you know, reading it aloud that makes it so enjoyable, but like,
or wanting to be a contrarian.
No, it's not. It's not good by any means. Like, it's awful, but it's like that cringy, enjoyable awfulness that you just kind of enjoy.
Yeah, and to be fair, as far as pacing is concerned, while this is slow, some people did have to, and I, in fact, was one of them. They had to wait a few days between pages in order to read. We keep that in mind. This thing is a live comic and still going on right now. You should read it. Sass, I know that I kind of neglected to throw you in a lot of it, but how do you feel?
Unfortunately, I wasn't here the entire session to fully grasp everything.
They don't know that.
Damn it. Okay, skip that part. Well, I don't. Damn it. Since I don't, my experience is shortened. But okay, I'll try to find my way. I kind of liked it, although it seems more wordier than the previous ones. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it's just that it's just as wordy as before.
Oh no. No, it definitely went up on its exposition, because this is where Rich started to realize that he could get away with a lot of world building. He did it. The madman, he actually did it.
Gotcha.
We're not even scratching the surface. There is still 1,000 more pages to go through. And those pages go through a whole lot. We still haven't even gotten to the family problems between Haley, Alon, and Roy, and Varsuvius for a little bit, yeah, there's a lot of stuff. But you were saying,
no, that sounds so exciting.
I think I like the basically like the big battles, like the big dragon reveal was pretty nice. Took a while to get there, but I think it was generally good.
Yeah, Stanton.
I'm gonna agree with Phalanx. This is getting super boring. The only saving grace that I got is doing my voice and my character. The rest of it is just like I don't catch any of the references. I don't find any of the like haha like jokes like funny, because it's just a reference that it's not like I'm not invested in it all. So it's just kind of like okay, and it relies on that so much that it just makes it like I might get a joke I understand every 4 pages, and because of that, I'm just kind of like, well, what am I gonna do? So all I can do is hope for my character to pop up, and I can give a little, hey, what's going on, and move on. So yeah, it's fun as far as that much, but you know, I will agree that it's gotten a lot more wordy. Which I kind of was expecting it to, but this is kind of a bit much. He crams a lot of words in, and I really don't think he needs to. It's a bit much. It's like taking a full-on script and then trying to apply it to a comic, and that is kind of like rough, because you see a lot of the panels and a lot of the speech bubbles overlapping, doing weird stuff, and I think if he was focused on chopping down all the excess in that, keeping it more simple and back and forth, like quick back and forths instead of long drawn out diatribes, it would be a lot more entertaining to watch. But that's just personal opinion. Other than that, art still stands, same type of art, and that's how I feel.
Well, I will say, now that you mention it, I realize what it is. Because you know what this is? And the reason why is because this is a nerd comic. It is a comic written by a nerd for nerds. And you know what nerds love to do more than anything else, especially with the media that they love?
Reference the media they love. Reference other media they love. Right?
That too. But also, they love to nitpick the shit out of it.
They also like to. They like to talk about it a lot for a long time.
Yes.
And they might not recognize in their boring feed. But that being said, again, I was trying to say, I totally understand that perspective, and empathize with it to some degree, like the Stanton, the Phalanx, all those perspectives. For me, again, it's just like I think that like it would just be so much more enjoyable to be read than to be read aloud too.
That
to be
too.
audiobooked, yeah.
Yeah.
To be able to just click through pages real quick and not have to, I think this is one of those. I think the early pages were good.
Mhm.
But I think once we get into the story dense stuff, that's where it's like, you know what, you should go read this for yourself. You'll be able to get through it like so much faster, and you'll be able to go at your own pace and all that. Yeah, and I think that's another big thing. Yeah.
Yeah. This thing, the reason why it's all wordy and it spends so much time on tactics and things like that is because that's the sort of thing that a lore nerd would look for. When you think about, how deeply people go into like crafting stories for like Warhammer or D&D, of course. This is the kind of thing that they want to, and this is, I would say that this is the first. It shows that this is kind of him going into this thing that I don't know. I may be underestimating the guy, but this feels like kind of the first time that he's gone into this sort of big world building stuff and being able to present it to a broader audience. And so you'd want to explain as much as possible. You'd want to show all this in all of its glory. And if you're into that, you'd be able to appreciate it. But yeah, makes sense. Don't worry. We'll come back to this comic. We'll get into the actual character development in which Roy gets his own love interest and, all that stuff. And also we find an oracle that's a kobold.
I don't believe you that there's character development.
Oh, but there is, my dear. There is. Haley gets to talk to her old teenage self, which is yeah.
Kill me.
It's amazing. It's one of the best jokes ever. I love it. There's actually a bit after I reread it where I realized I actually stole one of the jokes from this comic inadvertently and put it into January. It was just that good, apparently. Anyway, that being said, I think that's going to be it for tonight. Come join us next time, in which Roy defeats a dragon, fucking Varsuvius almost dies, and the tides of war turn and change, and we kill Zycon. Let's go! Till next time, this has been Amazil and the boys, and it is time to say goodbye, boys.
Good night.
Bye.
Goodbye, boys. See you later. Have a good one. Hasta luego.